Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going back into the Harbor Freight website and checking out some of their new tools that they've recently released. If you're new to the channel, I like to do these videos every roughly 2 to 3 weeks just to kind of go over and share my thoughts with you guys on some of the new tools that they've released. And then if you guys have already purchased these items, some of these items, please let me know your guys' thoughts or experiences with them down in the comments. So first up, we're looking at the new Doyle Premium Pipe Threading Die Head Kit. This is a 6-piece set, and they do have some other sets available. This isn't a tool that I have experience with in any brand. So if you guys do have experience with this type of tool, please let me know your guys' thoughts on what you think of this Doyle set or some of the other Doyle sets that they may have available. Of course, now they're not popping up. They do have, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 different sets from Doyle. And my experience with Doyle in general is pretty good. I don't have any complaints with any of the Doyle stuff that I've used. Once again, I have not used any of these pipe threading die kits. Just Doyle in general, I think, is a pretty good deal a majority of the time. So I can't really share my thoughts on this type of tool. So when I'm using this is for, you know, larger pipes and things like that, where when I'm using dies and taps, it's usually for smaller fasteners or smaller work. So here's just a little bit of information on it if you would like to pause and read that. This is supposed to be the premium pipe threading kit. Has 24 ratcheting notches, requires as little as 15 degrees of rotation. Good for aluminum, black iron, brass, cast iron, copper, conduit, galvanized steel, and stainless steel pipe. And then here's just a little bit of the specifications. Obviously, these being new products, we don't have any reviews. Sometimes you'll have a couple, but this one is the newest item added to the list, and this one's at $330. It does compare it to the Rigid at $800. So please, if you guys have experience with this type of tool, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Doyle set. Next up, they have the Bauer 20-volt 5-amp-hour lithium-ion battery and charger starter kit for $100. Not terrible. Not great. I mean, it's nice because it is a 5-amp-hour battery, so pretty decent there. But even when you're comparing it to, you know, some of the bigger name brands, it's an okay deal at best. We do see here now that they have the Bauer cordless ratchets. They have had the Hercules ones for a little while now. I can't remember for sure how long they've been around, but I was pretty impressed with the expansion of the Hercules and Bauer lineup and everything that they're coming out with. It was nice to see them expand into kits where you're getting chargers and batteries with some of the tools now. It's nice to see that they released 3-inch cutoff tools or cordless ratchets. Now, am I saying this is fantastic because this is like the best deal you can find? No. Like, if you're a weekend warrior DIYer that hasn't gotten into DEWALT, Milwaukee, Makita, Bosch, whatever, you know, the big name brands, if you haven't gotten into those, there are certain situations, if Bauer and Hercules is a good enough brand for your needs, you can save a little bit of money. But it's always something you have to keep in mind. Like, a lot of the times you can get DEWALT and Milwaukee tools, the big name brand ones, on sales, and they're not very much more than the Bauer and Hercules. So, like, I stick with Milwaukee and DEWALT cordless tools. If I didn't have those brands, there are definitely tools from the Bauer and Hercules lineup that I would definitely consider purchasing, just because I think some of them are fantastic for the price and would do just fine for what I need them to do here at home. But I don't like to go, now that I have these 2 brands, I stick to those 2 brand lineups. I don't like to have any miscellaneous extra chargers, extra batteries. I like to keep it as simple as possible. So I don't want to expand outside of those 2 brands. So please let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys have used the Hercules cordless ratchet, but now they've released the Bauer one, which is really nice to see. I just like that they've really expanded on their brands that they've kind of grown over the last few years. So it's nice to see that 3-inch cutoff tool, cordless ratchets, kind of some of those more popular items that we've seen in the big brands. And both of these, this is the 1/2-inch and 3/8 drive. It's the tool only, but both of them are $60. So whichever one you prefer, it's the same price for either one. The 1/2-inch drive is going to be 45 foot-pounds of max torque at 225 RPM. And the 3/8 is going to be 40 foot-pounds at 225 RPM. Now, I will say I've had the Milwaukee cordless ratchet. I know the Gen 1 came in around 35 and 40 foot-pounds of torque, depending on the size that you got. I think it was just 1/4 inch and 3/8. I don't remember if there was ever a 1/2 inch for the Gen 1. I could be wrong about that. But it was between 35 and 40 foot-pounds of torque and 250 RPM. So people wanted something stronger, but then when they came out with the Gen 2, they provided a little bit more torque, between 50 and 60 foot-pounds, so a little bit more torque there. But it dropped the RPM from 250 to 175 RPM to achieve the additional torque. So I don't know which one I prefer. I like the speed of the Gen 1, but the torque of the Gen 2. So there's kind of a trade-off there. But they did expand into, you know, different lengths and designs, and I think both of them were great. But I think for $60, this isn't bad. Now, the Milwaukee Gen 1 can be found for around $75 on sale. A lot of the times it still sells for around $100, and then the Gen 2s are, you know, probably around 130 to 170, just depending on the size that you go with. So depending on what your needs are, and you already run the Bauer lineup, I think these could be a great addition. Cordless ratchets are nice, and you can break fasteners loose with these tools. I do believe this actually states, yeah, this one can handle up to 240 foot-pounds of manual torque applying to the plastic body. Now, I will say, just like the Milwaukee, whenever I am breaking a fastener loose with my cordless ratchet, I try to keep my hand off of like where the battery actually connects, just because that's going to be a weak point. So you want to actually have a hold of the handle when you're applying that torque. But a lot of the times, if a fastener is really stubborn, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use a standard ratchet. And then once I've broken it loose, if I'm working in a awkward situation, I don't want to sit there and actually ratchet. These things are absolutely fantastic. I think 240 foot-pounds of manual torque is fantastic. I think 45 foot-pounds for this 1/2 inch drive is decent. 225 RPM is nice. It's right in between the Milwaukee Gen 1 and Gen 2. I think that's a good speed. So please let me know your guys' thoughts. If Bauer is a product that you, or a brand that you run, is this a tool that you would consider? And once again, both 1/2 inch drive and 3/8 are available for $60. And then I believe the Hercules ones are around $80 or $90. I could be wrong. But then they have a couple of Doyle loppers here. I'm not going to go over every single thing. A new welding helmet, a new McGraw composite air impact for $50, a little bit cheaper of a unit here. This one delivers up to 900 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. The US General 15-slot wrench organizer for $8. I'm not sure. I thought these were already a thing. I don't know if this is just a different size. I don't know what. Maybe something's changed about these. I'm not exactly sure. They have a Cover Pro portable shed replacement kit. This is a 3-piece kit for $115. Contains the roof cover, zippered door cover, and back cover for the Cover Pro 10-foot by 10-foot portable car canopy. So it is nice that you can just get a replacement kit, so you don't have to buy the whole, you know, assembly again. 17-inch curved and straight pressure washer extension wands for $15. That doesn't seem like a bad deal. And they've finally done it, the 30-inch 5-drawer mechanics tool cart in the purple color, which I've been looking forward to for quite a while. I've been putting this tool cart off for years just because I don't have much room left to work with. I like the amount of free space that I have, but I could really use one of these, but not in dire need of one. And I've been talking myself in and out of the 5-drawer service cart for quite some time, ever since they were like $170 up to now $280. But you can still get them on sale during certain times for around $200 or $220, I believe. But I love the slate gray, the white, and now the purple. It's making it very hard to not have one. I don't know what it is about this purple, but I think it looks absolutely amazing in the 5-drawer service cart. We already know it's the best bang for your buck service cart out there. So this is still, even at the raised price over the last 5 years, it's still really good compared to any of the other ones that I've ever looked for on the market. So I love this color edition, and all around this is obviously a very popular mechanics cart. And then they have the 30-inch 4-drawer tech cart here, which they now have available in the red, gray, black, blue, green, orange, yellow, and white. And I'm sure as long as this purple keeps performing, they're going to add the purple to this. Then we have Icon's socket sets. These are general service socket sets. Now, I like the sets. I like what they've done here. I don't like the pricing necessarily on it. I think Icon, for a majority of their stuff, has really good stuff for the price. It is quite a bit above what people generally go to Harbor Freight for. So like this is going to be the top of the top as far as hand tools from Harbor Freight. Obviously, if you know Harbor Freight, you already know that. But sometimes Icon really pushes it because there are a lot of other brands out there in the same quality range that you can get much better deals on. Now, it is nice if you just have a Harbor Freight local, lifetime warranty, that may be your deciding factor. But sometimes Icon really does push the envelope on the pricing. If you're considering an Icon product, I really suggest just quickly looking at other brands that are in the same quality range, because there are a lot of them, and just making sure that you're making the best decision for yourself. I do like what they have here. I like it a lot. The little portable case, how they've organized it inside. This is specifically a 3H drive set, SAE and metric. You're getting shallow and deep. They are 6-point. You're getting a couple extensions, a couple adapters, a universal joint, and the ratchet. And they all come in little EVA foam trays. So if you don't want to keep it in this case, you can easily take them out, set these little EVA foam trays out in your toolbox, and then if you're going to the junkyard or whatnot, you don't have to worry about grabbing a rail of sockets or grabbing a bunch of sockets and tossing them in a bag or anything like that. You can just grab these 3 little EVA foam trays, toss them back in the case, and be on your way. So I think that's really nice. Here's all 3 of them kind of lined up, how it's organized in the case. You could even take the top off, drop the whole case in your box. Very simple. So they've kind of done the same thing as what you see with the Milwaukee stuff, where it's very easy to just take the tray out of the outer shell, drop it in where you need, and then replace it if necessary. But for a 54-piece set, you really should be looking maybe between $100 and $125, this being at $150. So I do think it's a little bit overpriced for what it is, the size set in the quality range that you're getting. But overall, I like the design, the idea behind it all. Very, very universal and versatile. So that was the 3H drive set. Here they have the 1/4-inch drive set. This is a 48-piece set. So this is 6 pieces smaller than what our 3H drive set is. And this one is going to be $100. I think this one should be around the $70 to $80 price range. $100, not terrible, but I see some of the Craftsman stuff, some of the Milwaukee stuff. You get like a 24-piece set for like $80. That is a horrible deal for the quality range. So it's not quite that bad. This isn't a large kit, but it is 1/4-inch drive and sizes that you would want, especially for metric. You got the 5, you got the half size at 5.5. You don't have the 4, 4.5, but you do have 5, 5.5, and then it does go up to 14 millimeter. It does not include the 15 millimeter. So unfortunately, this isn't like a complete set. A complete would probably be between, at least for metric, be 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5. No skips all the way to 15. A lot of people like to include that 15 millimeter in their 1/4-inch drive sets now. But once again, the versatility and the layout and thought behind it is great. I think $100 wouldn't be a bad deal if it had those additional 3 sockets in each, shallow and deep. But please let me know your guys' thoughts. I don't think these are terrible deals. I just don't think they're fantastic deals. I think you're getting good quality stuff. But other than that, there's a little bit of the information. If you would like to pause, take a look at it. It is a 90-tooth ratchet with 4-degree arc swing. Once again, let me know your guys' thoughts. And then we have the Bauer 20-volt, 5-amp-hour high-capacity lithium-ion battery bundle. This is a 2-pack for $129. So earlier we were seeing the 5-amp-hour from Bauer with the starter kit for $100, and that's with the charger. This is just 2 batteries for $130. I think this is a little bit better of a deal, especially if you already have a charger. This is definitely the better deal. Then we have the Icon 1/4-inch metric universal shallow socket set, and then you also have the SAE. The metric is going to be $120. There you can see it in its little case. It is an 11-piece set. Starting at 5, you do get the 5.5 up to that 14, just like on that other socket set, for $120. Not a great deal. Honestly, there are many other brands that make these exact same sockets that you can get for quite a bit cheaper. Now this is quite a small set for the SAE. This is $60. I can't remember what I paid for them exactly, but it was probably about that price for the Astro Pneumatic. I have the 1/4 inch shallow universal sockets, and they've been fantastic. I had them maybe 7-8 years. Haven't had an issue with them. One of my most commonly used sockets, and they've held up well. They come in an EVA foam tray, so I think these are a great style of tool to own. Universal sockets are fantastic. Over using a universal joint and a socket all the time, this can be really handy, having an all-in-one. But I think the pricing, once again, could be a little bit better for those for those Icon tools. McGraw 6-inch random orbit air sander, a Central Machinery 50-pound portable abrasive blaster kit for $35. And then here they've just kind of added a few miscellaneous items, and I think that's roughly where we had started the last video. So we got some work gloves here, a 200 lumen LED pen light. Here's a professional paintless or airless paint primer stain sprayer kit for $600. I don't think we went over that last time. I think that's roughly where we stopped. But yeah, because I remember going over some accessory kits. This is very similar to the rigid accessory kit that I bought for my vacuum years ago. So please let me know your guys' thoughts on some of these new tools that they've released at Harbor Freight. I think some of the Icon stuff is great, but the pricing could definitely be much better. The purple for the toolbox or mechanics cart is fantastic. And then I like that they're really expanding on their Hercules and Bauer cordless tools. I think that's fantastic. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.